Hi everyone. My name is Isago from LINE. This is the last session of the day. After this, we have the closing session and then the after party. I hope you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the next 40 minutes. For this session, I will talk about how engineers have been resolving tech development-related issues. If you are interested in this topic, please join LINE and be one of our team members. That is my honest opinion. I look forward to seeing you. I say this because a year ago, I was in the audience, just like you, and I was a technical evangelist at Microsoft, but I joined LINE since, and I am working hard to be a technical evangelist at LINE. In this session, I will be talking about bots. I hope I can give you some insights on how bots work at LINE. But that is not my only goal. I hope that the developers, you, can use bots for LINE, and I hope I can encourage you to build bots not on other platforms but online, because we have been working hard to create demo applications, in other words, bots, to prepare for this session and today's LINE Developer Day. For those of you who have never built a bot for LINE, maybe you are a security engineer and other types of engineers. So I will start by explaining to you how to build a bot, including how to use a messaging API. Then, a demonstration will be given for the flexible rich menu, which is a new feature that I am excited to introduce to you. This will be presented from my colleague Tachibana. He spent night and day creating various samples, so I hope you look forward to seeing these. So I will start by talking to you about bots. In this morning's keynote speech, you may recall a few numbers that were presented. Let me remind you, for those of you who don't recall, there are 130,000 bots on the LINE platform. Are any of you out there bot developers? Not necessarily for work, but please take a photo, photographers at the back. I'm very happy to see so many hands go up. So, your bot is 1 out of 130,000. Isn't that exciting? If we do a simple calculation and add all friends of your bots, there are 2 billion friends. Human friends, of course. And 2 billion people are communicating with bots. Do you get a feel of this scope? Maybe you're not so sure if the bot you created is that great. You may be wondering what the current status is on bots. But if you look at the general picture, overall picture, there are 2 billion friends. And this is cumulative, not unique numbers of friends, of course. But this is the current spoke. And there are 10 billion messages being sent. This is not per month or per day. In the last dev day, we opened up our API for messages. But since then, over the past year, 10 billion messages were sent and received between bots and users. This is the future. We are very excited to see bots being utilized so much. In order to achieve this current environment, so as I mentioned last year, I wasn't a member of LINE yet. There was an event called LINE Bot Awards. The grand prize was 10 million yen. I was told that since I joined LINE, I was asked to be the one in charge of LineBot Awards. I was very excited because I liked this event. The grand prize winner was a team named And. Some of you may have already heard of their name through the media, but this service allows people with various disabilities, pregnant women, other people who need support to receive support using line beacons. You may have noticed that in Japan, some women have a badge attached to their purse, for instance, to show passively that they are pregnant so that people can give them a seat. In the same way, the Anhan team thought line beacons can be mobilized so that they can be carried around by people who need support, so that people who need support and people who are willing to give support can connect. The judges had various opinions on how we should determine the grand prize winner, but in the end, we were very happy to be able to give the grand prize to a team that came up with a concept that would help make the society better. This product is going through testing for production. So once the Anhand service becomes public, I hope you will have a try. We have also provided many awards to other teams. Because we thought we shouldn't just have one grand prize. Therefore, we had various category prizes. Of those, the Yamato Transport companies bot service won one of the prizes. You may have used it if you live in Japan. Navitime also received an award. This service allowed users to communicate with a bot to come up with a trip itinerary, for instance. So some of the award winners were for services that are already in production. But another award winner was by a team named Shakure. And this service was unique because I'm sure you have had an experience where you can't take a good picture when there are lots of people in front of you. This service allows attendees at a large event to share photos that are taken at an event with other attendees so that even if you were standing at the very back, you can have a good photo taken by someone who was at the front. In this way, people from a company, individual developers, all came up with great ideas for bots. There were also teams that participated from other countries, such as Thailand, Indonesia. The team from Indonesia was a startup company of students, so it became a very global event. In operating this event, in addition to providing awards, we also had a hackathon where line developers and non-line developers collaborated. We received many feedbacks on how to improve our API, and this is how we are able to improve our product development. And through this process, we were able to improve our products. Maybe some of you are thinking, I wish I had taken part in this event. I wish I could tell you that we have LineBot Awards too. For many reasons, I regret to inform you that we don't have LineBot Awards 2 planned yet. I think my colleagues presented you a roadmap earlier today, but once we are ready to provide a better service, to develop better applications, we would be excited to organize another Bot Awards. Are you interested? Do you want to win the grand prize? It may not be 10 million yen again, but if you want to take part in the LineBot Awards, please clap to tell me how interested you are in LineBot Awards. Thank you. Thank you very much. I hope your applaud was heard by our management members. So I hope we can announce LineBot Awards too soon. Next, I would like to review last year's events and updates. The messaging API is very simple. It is an API to develop bots. So the things you can do are very simple. If you want to ask a bot about the weather, then the application tells you what the weather is. This is the reply API. In addition to this, sometimes you may think that no one is talking to your bot. If this was for business, I'm sure you want to let people know about your bot. Send out coupons. That's when push messages are used. By using a reply message and push message in combination, you can provide a bot service. This is what we call messaging API. But we don't want to encourage developers to use the push API too much because and we are setting limits, such as making it payable, because we want users to use bot services in a comfortable way. Therefore, we want the webhook to detect people's input so that bots can send a reply. This is how we want developers to create bots on the Line platform. Within an API, some of this is written in a document, but let me show you. This part in the block, by changing this text, you can simply send various replies to users. So using a curl command, you can try the bot behavior very easily. Not only do we provide an API, but we also, for each programming language, we have SDKs that are made available to developers. Maybe some of you may think, I use C#, but it's not in here. If you notice things like this, we will try our best to accommodate your request so that we can fill in the gaps with you. For these 7 languages, you can use the SDKs right away. Please utilize them to try developing a bot for Line. So you might be thinking, how much does it cost to develop a bot? Let me tell you, bots can be developed for free. One important index at Line is how many friends you will be reaching, especially for ads. This is our basic standard. So we have a plan called Developer Trial. We have set the maximum number of friends to 50. With 50 friends, you can probably develop a fairly good bot, and this can be done for free. Then if you can expand the scope of the business and eventually have several 100,000 or 1,000,000 friends, you can upgrade your plan. We also want to encourage you to create a Line-like bot with many features. First, stickers. You can use stickers to express your emotion in addition to text. Users who communicate with your bot are used to using stickers in their communication. So, we would like to encourage you to communicate with your users using stickers. You can also send images, videos, files, and within the Line app, when you're chatting with your friends, how do you send images? I'm sure you're familiar. So, you don't need to explain how to send an image to a user. There's also the geolocation information. This is also simple. to send to friends. You can also develop bots that will send you location information. If you search line, for instance, to a bot, the bot can send you the location of the line office. This is a type of bot that you can develop easily. Perhaps you want to have more interactive communication with users, but this isn't possible just through text, image, and videos. And it may be there may be limits to getting users to enter free text. So to resolve this problem, we have buttons and various templates and a carousel menu. Let's say you want to select a date. This was a common request. So we added a feature to allow this. So if you think of other templates that would make bots better, please tell us.
In order to provide you more freedom, this is more close to the main topic we want to cover for today. We have image map available for you. Not only text or not only stickers, but you might want to exchange more complex information. We can use image maps so that you can specify the coordinates and also specify the actions as well. And max of 50 areas can be defined. So ads or coupons were good examples, but also reverse the game is a good sample of that. So the communication within the game or user experience, you might be able to use the image map for that purpose. And in the previous developer day, we distributed Line Beacon. So for those of you who participated in the previous event, you can use Line Beacon for your own app development, and the beacon can be well leveraged to create bots. That can be another option for you. And so far, well, it's more about the discussion closed within bot, and I'm sure some of you are very happy to be doing activities inside bot, but you might want to create even more besides bots. So now, let me invite Tachibana-san, who might share the same ideas. Not only me speaking one way, but Tachibana-san, who created the demonstration, and myself would go through the demonstration. And please give him a big warm applause. And now I would like to hand over the stage to Tachibana-san. Tachibana-san, the floor is yours. So Tachibana-san, you recently joined Line, right? Before Line, you were writing a book about the bot for Line, right? Yes. And he's active as an engineer. He wrote a good bot book for Line, and we recruited him, so he's here. So let's talk about Line login and also messaging API. Let's go through the bot demonstration. Hi, everyone. So I would like to use the demonstration to talk about Message API and Line login. Would like to talk about the benefits of combining the two. The bot here shows you the steps as well as the weight. Let me show you the bad example first. Again, when you call bots, it comes back as a text. That looks ugly. Nobody wants to use that bot. So let's take a look on the website. Of course, you need to enter your user ID and password. Again, it's too cumbersome. So Line login can be used instead. So you show the rich, so you can tap the rich menu, and then you move to the web, and then there is a Line login implemented. So only first time you just need to authorize yourself, and after that, now you're logged in. So the rich UI can be implemented. That's something that's not implemented on the bot side. The weight. Is this your real weight? No. I made it a little bit lighter than my real weight. I'm sure some of you might have seen me after a while, but I look a little bit overweight because of my t-shirt. Anyway, I'm logged in, and as you can see from the top screen, my name is there. And that's messaging API and line login. The user ID is being shared between the two. So bot data can be shown here. Line login and messaging API, combine the two, brings this kind of a benefit. And Open Development API, the mechanism we provide you, you can combine two, messaging API and line login. This is a very powerful combination. So of course you can just do it alone, or you can just combine messaging API with line login. So this kind of app design is now available for you. And one more thing, another announcement we have for you, that is, since we disclose messaging API, you use it for different purposes, and some, well, just like bot for the weights, one person and bot, more one-to-one communication is one use case for bot, but sometimes bot can join the group, and the group user, as the human beings have dialogues, bot also can join that discussion. And some use case, for example, includes the translation. Well, inside Line, there are some English speakers, Korean speakers, Japanese speakers. There's so many members joining Line, and we put the bot, and so the bot can translate the discussion within the group. And in case of translation bot, who say what is something you don't have to understand those. So as you can see from the code, as long as you identify the group ID, that's enough. But sometimes that's not good enough for people, for developers. So not only group ID, but also you can identify user ID as well. And app can change the behaviors according to the user ID and based upon the rules that you need to sign. So this enables you to define the application behavior as well. And I would like to show you some demonstration. Again, this is another demonstration. This is more of the bot acting inside the group, and then bot can get user ID. Let me talk about the benefit of bot acquiring the user ID. This bot manages the report provided by students, and there are 3 students, 1 professor within this group. So usually just regular discussion is happening among the group, and there seems to be this is the professor talking, saying there's a theme presented by the professor, and you need to invite the bot in order for the students to submit the report. Now bot is automatically joining the group, so let's set up the bot. So there's a link for setting up. When you tap it, and then you log in, and professor ID and group ID is mapped. And you click the web button. Then the link gets sent. And then this is the link for submitting the report. So each user can submit their own report. And Tachibana-san, who's kind of lagging behind, we can send him a reminder that he's lagging behind others. And now Tachibana-san submitted the report. So Tachibana-san, we can just give him a little caution because he's lagging behind. So we go to the bot configuration. And you see a list of groups, and you can choose the user and then tap the button, and then there's a message being sent to that particular person you chose. It might be difficult for you to really follow because everyone's there, but for example, no English speaking group, or or the games that you can play where you cannot mention certain words. So let's create group that's very Line-like or unique to Line. Not only one-to-one bot, but bot-to-N kind of relationship can be established within the group. Bot understanding the intention of the user. That's something we want you very much to challenge. And that's why we made this mechanism available for you so that you can capture user ID now. So is this enough? We don't think so. We need to improve the mechanism further. Now let me talk about flexible rich menu. Before talking about flexible rich menu, maybe it's better that we talk about rich menu first. So let me introduce the rich menu before introducing flexible rich menu. So let me explain about rich menu. As of last year, we implemented rich menu, so some of you already might have used rich menu. So you see a graphical user interface towards the bottom, and then you can map the action to the area specified. It looks like this. And this rich menu have some challenges. For example, now the screen is smaller, and even though you sent the rich menu, the top part is cut off. So one rich message, the same rich message displayed to everybody. So if you're connected to the account, you have to send the same message to the user who's already linked the account. And also it's square and it's organized. So it's just an ordinary UI we created. In order to resolve these challenges, we came up with these ideas. We want to have layout with greater freedom and also configuration at API level. Let's look at the design first. First is half-size rich menu. Currently, you see a big rich menu. All you can configure is a big rich menu, meaning that this display portion is smaller. But now you can set a half rich menu for vertical. So that means you can just keep showing the rich menu for the group use. But still, this would not make the user's display area smaller, meaning we can offer more options to the users. Next is image map. Currently, there are predefined layouts that you need to choose out of. That's the only option we have for rich menu, but now it's according to the image map. So you see map style rich menu. If you tap it, if you tap whole A, then you see the information about whole A, or whole B, you see whole B details. So it's a very free coordinates and menu available on rich menu now. Or very intuitive UI. This is more like a Korean barbecue use case. Rather than just simply looking at the text, this is more inviting for you to click. So you might want to try to click everything. So we can create this kind of a menu if you want. This is drawn by Tachibana-san himself. So he is very skillful, not only as a developer, but also something else. So let's move on. And also calculator use case. Well, it's not too complicated, but a little complex rich menu can be created. I'm sure some of you have made this with image map, but image map kind of is difficult to use because it just keeps flowing. But now with rich menu, it just keeps showing. So as UI, or from a controller perspective, it's more user-friendly because it stays there. And in case of a game, it's nice to have a cross key. It's very intuitive for users, meaning it's user-friendly. So please try to create the user-friendly UI using rich menu. Or recipe bot. Sometimes the bot requires lots of buttons, but with the conventional bot UI, this cannot be well represented, but now with rich menu, you can show lots of buttons. So far, we talked about what can be done by rich menu and addressing some of the smaller display areas and all the challenges. But You today are planners, not, I'm sure you're mainly developers, not planners and designers. So what we have introduced, all the features and functions, how can those be controlled by the application? I'm sure you're mainly interested on that side. So let me talk about the rich menu API.
Okay, I'd like to move on to the topic of API. Currently, from the management screen, you can set one valid or enabled rich menu to each bot. But now you can link through the API as you see here. As I mentioned earlier, for users who have linked their account, they still see a message encouraging them to link their accounts. With the latest update, as soon as a user has linked their account, a different rich menu can be linked to them. In this way, a menu that's specially created for members can be displayed. Here are some other examples. Using a beacon, first of all, this is a bot for a museum, but beacons can detect visitors to the museum to receive coupons or information about special exhibitions going on. Other people can see information about hours of operation and other general information. Here are some other examples. Users can select favorites or quick access so that users can quickly, easily jump to the information they want to see. This is also a user-friendly UI, in my opinion. Here are some more examples. Supportive bots are a typical example. Once a support is completed, the bot can ask the user how satisfied they are of the support. Then, this would probably encourage users to answer the survey. Some more examples. As soon as a user becomes a friend of a bot, users can specify their attributes so that users with a specific attribute can see a customized rich menu. Second API is keyboard. The rich menu that is smaller, this is the solution. Here is an example. Let's say there is a bot for a mover company. Bots for these had to get users to enter their postal code for a delivery. So as soon as users need to tap in numbers, keyboard can be displayed so that they can enter their postal code and then close the rich menu as soon as they are finished. This is one possibility. The same thing can be said with the rich menu. The API can be used to display the rich menu at the appropriate time and then hide it when it's no longer needed. This can be useful for games. As soon as a game is completed, you can show a message or a fancy rich menu that encourages users to share the game with their friends if they had fun. Because if without the rich menu, messages can keep scrolling up. But using the rich menu keeps important messages at the bottom of the screen. That sounds great. If you search line bot reverse, you can probably see reverse bots that Tachibana-san developed in the past. We are hoping to provide more and more environments that allow you to develop bots more easily. So here were some graphical examples of bots. Maybe some of them were very flashy, and you thought, this is a little overwhelming, but we wanted the samples to be memorable for you. In explaining to you about API, there was one thing missing. The samples that we showed you are not Illust works, but they are screenshots of actual bots that work. Is the API already public? No, not yet. I see. So, normally, how to call these restricted APIs and others, we were hoping to explain these verbally, but we didn't want a difference between what we can show you and what we can actually provide you. So by showing you samples, we hope this stimulated your imagination to develop your own bots. Once the API is ready, we will provide it to you. Please stay tuned. There's less than 5 minutes left to this session, so I would like to present our upcoming plans. In preparation for Developer Day 2017, we have made several updates. Here they are. First, the Developer Center is black now. I don't know if that's funny, but it not only has the color been changed to black, but I hope you find it more useful than before in managing bots. Multiple websites need to be cross-used. So why did we choose this structure? This was some of the feedback that we received from developers, so we made an improvement to this. Additionally, in order to develop bots, many references and sample codes needed to be referred to. So we have provided more documents in Japanese and English. So that is how we overhauled Line Developer site. Earlier, we mentioned to you that we provide SDKs. If you click on the link from Line Developer site, you should jump to GitHub. In the GitHub projects, our developers are contributing to this open source project so that we can brush up the SDKs with you every day. I don't have a slide ready, but I have one more thing I'd like to mention to you. LineBot Studio, which is a prototyping tool. I don't know if that's the right term to describe this, but various bots that we've introduced to you today. Since you are programmers, you should probably be able to develop these bots right away. But if designers and planners want to set up a carousel menu, we are hoping that this environment will help you to communicate with planners to realize their plans. This is an app that will run on your PC, not web-based. So we hope you will try LineBot Studio when it becomes available. Please stay tuned for our announcements. So I have been going on and on about bots today in this session, but everyone here today, you heard about Clova and that smart speakers is the future, and I hope you're very excited about the future. One thing we'd like to present is this: skills for smart speakers. We hope to provide SDKs for you that allows you to develop this, which is not available yet. And languages and cultural restrictions in certain countries. The development environment of Alexa and environment is maybe not mature already yet. So, at this stage, if you have any apps that you want to provide on a smart speaker, I invite you to develop it on the LineBot platform. If AI or rule-based mechanisms will become smarter by communicating with users, maybe communication can become more detailed with experience. These are some of the things that will become possible with Clova. in the near future. As was announced in the keynote speech, the things that can be done with a LINE messaging API on a bot may change, but we hope that integration will be as easy as possible. So, if you have any new apps or services that you want to create, please try the messaging API and the LINE login mechanism. Additionally, for those of you who are interested, we invite you to use LINE API Expert. This was mentioned in this morning's keynote speech, as you may recall. But for you as developers, third parties, we will provide you with a certified program so that we can encourage hackathons, blogs, and spread information through social media with us. So, this is the reason why we started the LINE API Expert program. I didn't give too much detail this morning, but here are the things I'd like you to remember. First is the incentive. What's great about becoming a LINE API expert? It's not about earning money. We will provide you with exclusive APIs that are only made available to partners now, or beta version APIs. These will be disclosed only to LINE API experts. And we can make sure that our developers hear your feedback to make improvements. So, maybe some of you wanted a trophy or you wanted to become famous. This might be an incentive in the future. If any of you are interested in helping us improve our APIs, please become a LINE API expert. That's all for our session. You may be imagining what kind of bots you want to create after this session. If this is the case, I'll be very happy. Bots aren't just about replacing humans now. Bots are about communicating with people in more detail, with a higher comfort level. I think this is the level that we are entering. So after this session, and after the closing speech, and after the party, I hope you will be as passionate as you are now to develop your own bots. That's all for our session. Thank you very much.